I would set an alarm clock and wake up and go into the studio. You know what I mean?
You were under the gun. That's what they say.
No, I was self-motivated.
Alright.
A door opened for me. I didn't capitalize on like an opportunity. I started a career. Andrew Ginzel, the artist.
No.
You know in Union Square, that big thing on the side of the building with the hand and the hole, the bullseye, and it emits smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy?
Uh-huh.
I was talking to him about the Jonathan Shore gallery thing, and he was like, oh, you know, you could probably get into a better gallery or whatever. I'm like, dude, 20,000, I could live for a year on just selling what I made this year in school, you know what I mean? And he's like, Jeanette, your work, you're better holding off and just making work and then compiling it and putting it in better, you know what I mean? And don't do the more commercialized, like Soho, bullshit galleries, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could go for like Whitney Biennial or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's good
and
advice.
Yeah.
Unless
but at the same time,
you're
it's
impoverished,
like, but impoverished, you know what I mean? What would I do with the money? I'd probably be better off I didn't have the money, you know?
Right.
If you know those two studies I made, the ones that hang on the wall that aren't quite completely sculptures?
Right,
but
look.
There's an internal and an external one. There's one that's just like the muscle fibers and the heart and the lungs, and the one that's like the external, like fruit on the outside of the skin. So I combined the two in this because she's peeling open her, chest cavity, but inside is like the pomegranate heart with the, aorta.
Okay.
And the ventricle, you know what I
In
mean?
this one here.
And, yeah, inside where she's peeling. You know what I mean? You can see she's got like a heart and lungs made out of like, bronchioli
yeah.
in your lungs, those little air sacs.
So this
it's made out of grape stems. You know what I mean? But it's rearranged.
So these pieces, what's the scale of this?
She's a little taller than me. If she was standing up straight, my height, she made a little taller.
Okay. And it's out of dried fruit, right?
Right. But that's a whole process in and of itself. It combines a few different things I'm interested in. A certain aesthetic I'm interested in. A certain sense of line. And a certain sense of collecting materials over time. And actual intimacy with them. I don't buy paint and just go and paint. I like to collect things.
You and I have that in common.
I like to collect things.
You and I have that in common.
Exactly. But that's what's interesting to me about making the work. When I have, you know what I mean? Like when I have part in, alright, so I pick out the fruit, the best one, you know what I mean? And then I eat the fruit, I save it, I fillet it down, wait for it to be just the right amount of moisture in it before you apply it, you know what I mean? And then you have, different shape, and then you have like a sense of like a complete control from the material to the application to the end product, you know what I mean? You could see in some other sculptural things, it's all shit that I saved for like years and then I made, you know what I mean? But things from like daily life, you know what I mean? It's on wood. I got this piece of wood and I kind of like saw this thing in it, you know what I mean? And I brought it out and pushed it in and whatever. There was some stain on the back.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? Like parts of this shit is actually part of the wood. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I saw something in there. SVA gave me a partial scholarship. My high school gave me a partial scholarship for college. And then SVA gave me grant. I could work on my work. You know what I mean? Right. It helped.
Yeah.
It's a study for the fruit skin thing. In other words, the collecting of the fruit skins, is arduous and time-consuming because you can only use certain fruits and you have to fillet them down and make them into like paper. You know what I mean? You can't just stick fruit on there and get moldy. You know what I mean? You know how you can like dry flowers? If you fillet the skin of like, let's say, a cantaloupe down until very thin, you can still get that beautiful color and texture. And it will dry out and be brittle like a dried leaf or something. Alright, so this was a way for me to take nylon stockings of different colors and get the same effect of that stretching in between nails, you know what I mean? At certain points of nail, you know what I mean? To get a sense of how I could apply the fruit. I don't want to do this right now. Well, that's also a study for one of the sculptures. That's actually a gouache watercolor painting on paper on a board okay, on a thick board that allowed me to put little sewing pins in it and apply, like how you can see right here, the inside of an orange. You see those, like, goosebumps right there on her thigh, or like, you know, if you look on the inside of an orange. And on this one, you can actually see the board behind it. This board is thick, and it allowed me to press those nails into there. Okay. From there, I did the studies. You know, the ones on the wall.
This is like so. This is like.
That was my senior thesis project.
This is your Michelangelo. I mean, this is.
I hope not.
This, no,
I hope that's not where
it is.
Of what I did at SVA. That was my senior thesis. Yeah.
I think this is. I think it's marvelous.
It's better than
absolutely marvelous.
It's better than most shit out there, but that's not still saying that much.
No, it's not saying much, but I mean.
And it wasn't even done yet in these pictures.
No.
You should have seen it at the show. I mean, the detail on the face and everything.